Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. In today's video, we're gonna have a look at how the Hydra looks in comparison to how it used to be, at least, basically from some simple testing that I've done on my teams that I'm using on the live servers, which is, before the change, and then how it actually works and how it looks on the test server, which is gonna be when it goes live on, I think it's Thursday, right? Thursday is when it goes live, and I'm gonna tell you from now, it's a pretty massive difference, right? So the damage overall is the thing that's kind of like a little bit scarier. It might be a little bit worse, right? It's a little bit worse than what I expected, but again, I guess you're gonna see for yourself from the comparisons that I've seen, that I'm gonna show you, and you're gonna judge for yourself. But pretty much from the initial testing and what I've done, the damage has gone down for all of the teams by like 50%, right? 50% less damage, and even a ton more for some other teams, right? So the first example is gonna be the Trunda team, right? We all know that this was kind of like aimed to pretty much drop down or lower, not completely nerf, but drop down the insanity that used to be the Trunda team, and it's basically 10 times worse, right? Almost 10 times worse when it comes to the Trunda team, at least in comparison with, again, what's happening on the live servers. And why do I say that big number? Again, this is specifically for my team. I'm not sure how the WMECO teams work and all that, but for me, for my testing that I have done and what I've seen that has changed, it's considerably lower, because this was the goal and this is what I expected. Consider the fact that not only did we have some changes to Trunda's kit, but we also had some changes to the mechanics of Hydra, lower turn count and all that. So again, maybe because we have less turns, it's not 10 times worse, but it's at least 5 times worse, right? So, simple example, you see my Trunda did 430 million, we went 1,000 turns. Again, I'm a big fan of lowering the turn count. That's good because we spent too much time on Hydra. Considering how much there is to do in the game, it's a massive number. So, oh yeah, I forgot to check. So this is how my t-shirt looks. I have some green that's supposed to be here on the sides. For those Hydra fans, you might know who this one is. I'm not gonna tell you, but you might know. You might know. Anyway, we see that the damage that I did is basically 533 million, right? This is on the test server. Now, if you go on my main account, if you go on the live server, we see that the damage that I did on hard, even though it's a little bit of a different rotation, so 10-20% difference might be because of affinities as well. But I did 3.4 billion damage on hard with pretty much the same team, with Trunda doing 2.8 billion as opposed to 430. So that's a massive drop. It's considerably lower, but at the same time, at least again from the initial testing, and the initial testing is also going to include, I'm going to show you another team that I used. It's also going to include some other teams. So the first thing that I'm thinking is, they didn't completely break Trunda. That's what I believe. I still believe that Trunda is going to be a viable option, and I have a feeling that she's still going to be at the top of the team. So even though we did have lots of mechanics that, is going to lower the Trunda cheese teams, and same thing for the Wixwell teams, this one is still viable, right? When it comes to Wixwell ones, I'm not going to talk about those because those ones are pretty much dead, right? The Wixwell teams are pretty much dead because taunt doesn't work anymore, and that's a change that I don't think they should have done, but that's just my opinion. So this is the Trunda team first. I'm just gonna free regroup in case I'm gonna do some testing, but let's have a look at the other team, right? Let me show you the team that I normally use for Nightmare, and it's pretty much, let me see what it is. It's this one over here. I hope I'm not missing here. So I'm using in this team, it's a Teox based team, right? My best damage dealer that wasn't a cheese one. So I'm using Teox, Krisk. Then I'm using Dracomorph, Sulfurion, Fearol the Barcon, and then good old Thor. Like, I'm really happy that I did the Thor fusion. He's really amazing, honestly. He does some fun things in here, and he's a pretty good pairing with what's his name? He's a really good pairing with Teox because he can do a ton of damage. But I'm not going to keep you through the whole of it. I'm just going to show you if I can quickly grab a screenshot because I already tested it. As soon as we could test it, I tested it, and damage comparison is again, it's the damage nerf for this team as well is pretty low. Let me just go and grab my team if I can find it. There we go. So this is the team after you hit the full turn, right? So again, on the test server, 687 million. On Nightmare, hit the turn limit. Teox did around 300 and let me just move myself a bit. 337 million. Then Thor 210, and obviously everybody else is not important. It's mostly about Teox and Thor. But these were the damages I did again on the test server with the changes and all that. And then if we look on the live server, right before the nerf, I guess, or before the changes, I did actually 1.44 billion. Right, so this one, again, it's another like 50% damage nerf, because again, keep in mind, this one was 1,000 tons, whereas the one that's on the live server was a 1,500 ton, right? So not only do we have 500 tons less, but also the mechanics that were implemented that, you know, heads come back with full damage reduction, they have less damage on the decapitated ones, plus there's some quirky thing that I'm not sure they fix. I'm gonna test it out, but on the test server, let me try and show you exactly what I mean. So let me see if I can do it. Pretty much what happens is if you do Teox's A1, which normally should have an ally join the attack, he let me just do an A2 here. The person that joins the ally attack doesn't actually join the attack, right? Doesn't join the attack, and that actually costs us, right? That's really it's not good, because you're losing out on a ton of damage, right? You're losing out on a ton of damage because, I mean, pretty much that's his mechanic, right? Let me see, do I do this? Okay, didn't quite kill it, but if you pretty much kill the head with Teox's A1, he's not gonna have the ally join in with that hit. I'm not sure if they fixed it, but if they didn't, that's pretty sad, especially because I'm not just talking about Teox, right? I'm not trying to be really subjective here and be like, oh, my Teox is nerfed. No, I think it's the same issue might be, unless they changed it already. Again, I haven't tested this since Friday, but was it Friday, something like that. But the problem was the fact that, like, it was the same thing with ally attackers. So for example, let's say if somebody wants to min-max the damage, you're trying to bring your ally attacker in and you start doing the ally attack, right? If you kill it, if you kill the head, that's, you know, the decapitated head, if you meet the damage threshold before everybody else joins the attack, that's pretty much, it stops, right? The first one that kills it, it just respawns and everybody else does no damage. And that's a massive problem that, again, I think, I saw people chat, I think it was addressed, but if not, that's, it's really painful, right? Because ally attackers are one of the best, people to use in Hydra, and from my point of view, if they actually do fix it, I believe that that's gonna be the new meta. From my point of view, the new meta, I think, is gonna be manualing and bringing in ally attackers, and always try to focus on decapitated heads, right? Because if you do that, you're gonna obviously min-max or maximize the damage that you can do while the heads are decapitated. Otherwise, you know, it's gonna be a struggle to do high numbers. Obviously, the numbers are gonna be considerably lower than what they used to be, but we'll see. Oh yeah, let me see if I can test out there, unless I made him respawn already. Let's do this. Come on, give me a turn with Teox, please. Unless I'm gonna revive. Oh yeah, I revived it. Never mind. So pretty much that's what happened. Like I said, I would just A1, then Thor would not join the attack because the head would respawn, and that was pretty much it. But I don't know, I think maybe it's like, you know, the changes overall, I'm happy with them. I'm happy with addressing the Wixwell and Trunda teams. I'm happy with lowering the turn count from 1,500 to 1,000. The only thing that, again, from my point of view, I believe they shouldn't have touched is the taunt champions, right? Because right now, honestly, taunt is just pretty useless. From my point of view, it's like, yeah, Shogun, but really, how many people actually use the taunt champion in Shogun? It might be more than I think, but taunt shouldn't have been changed, right? Taunt should have been kept the same, because they did enough to, you know, to drop down the Wixwell team, to drop down the Trunda teams, where taunt should have just stayed the same. But anyway, I guess I'm going to pretty much leave it at this for today, guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider liking it, subscribing to the channel to see when I upload next, and I'm going to see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye, guys.